This week is Banned Book Week. Look up what books are banned and support the authors that wrote them, especially the ones that are not white, like the Riordans are. Pretty
Yes.
much everyone else that's been banned, they'll be fine. Daughter of the Deep has been banned because of tampons. But so far, weirdly, the other groups that ban books are too afraid to ban Percy Jackson because I think they know that kids love them, and especially they literally use them as a way to like teach kids in school about Greek mythology, and so they probably just see them as like helpful and educational in that way, and they just like let him pass even though he has all these things in those books that they don't like. But a lot of other authors that are even part of his imprint
Mm-hmm.
are not are
Yeah.
are are getting banned, and for a lot of different things that are in his books too that they get away with. And by that I mean like because they let them still be in schools and stuff when those people are not, and their stories are just as good as Percy, and they deserve to be in there. There's a lot of ones that I really like that have had books banned, and so there's a website for it. Look up and see which books have been banned. It's stupid that they ban them. When I was in high
Yes.
school, my high school banned tried to ban Perks of Being a Wallflower, and it just hurts my head. Perks of Being a Wallflower is, I didn't know this when I was reading the book, but it's why it's my one of my favorite books ever. That it's a book basically about a kid that is a not basically is a child sex abuse victim
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't remember it until the end of the book. But like literally every single thing he does in that book is what we do. Everything.
Yeah.
It's wild. I barely remember a lot of the books, but the things that I do remember that he does is the exact things that we do. Like he just lets one of his friends kiss him all the time because he knows that it makes his friend feel better. It's like that kind of stuff. We just let people do stuff like that because we don't think we're used to people doing that stuff to us, so we don't think it's a big deal. And like people
Yeah.
had to fight my school board back then to like keep it, and we read it. Like I read it. I read that book because it was in my modern lit class.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only reason why I read it. And I heard of it, but that's why I read it because it was part of my school curriculum, which is
Yeah.
like really weird to think about kind of remember what I was thinking at the time. But when I read it, it was interesting, I'll say. Um, but still, kids like literally need those books to survive.
Yes.
Like I read books like that growing up, not just that one. Lots of books, like the Goosebumps books, the Roald Dahl books. Every book that I ever read had somebody that was being abused by their parents in it. And it was the only thing that made me feel like anyone else was dealing with any of the things that I was dealing with. And if you take those stories away from kids that are going through that, then they don't have anything.
Yeah, I mean, I understand too that that is the whole point of why people are doing that. And that's really
Yeah.
what we should be questioning if you're an adult that is unaffected by this, like you don't have children in your life or
Hmm.
you're not in school anymore. Like that's really where you should be thinking about these things are why do we want to stop these things out of kids?
Yeah. Like what why do they see books depicting things like that as like bad? It's those things just exist. They are like kids being abused. I don't say this to be like it doesn't matter, but it's like a morally neutral thing in the way that it just happens. It's
Mhm.
not it's not like inherently a bad thing to have kids read books where kids are going through bad things like that because bad things do happen to people. And if kids learn what it looks like when those bad things are happening when it's not happening to them, it's more likely that kids at school will have an easier time. Because I will say that I was bullied at school from the time that I was in kindergarten,
Mhm.
and a lot of the kids that I went to school with through all those years, the other unpopular ones like me, were ones that were going through abuse at home. And we were bullied because of it. And
Mhm.
so if kids like grow up with the idea of knowing in a kid like way what is going on, then maybe that kind of stuff won't happen as easily anymore. It
Yeah.
probably will in some way, but you never know. Like just one person being nice to you at school makes a big difference when your life is like a literal horror movie. It's like all it takes is one person, honestly, being
Mhm.
a little bit nice to you that makes it worth it to go to school every day. And so those books can help with that. And I don't know why.
We know why it's dangerous only in that it's like what we talk about, and it's
Hmm.
that creating these empathetic people leads to people not wanting to do the kind of stuff that people in power do. I
Hmm.
mean, I think of my 12-year-old and how, like, I tell him, about taxes or insurance for the first time, and he's just like, adults make no sense.
If you're a kid or even if you're an adult and you're not, and you hear about books being banned, but you're not sure like what to do about it, you can always check Becky Riordan's thread. She always reposts like nonprofits, local independent bookstores that give profits to groups like that and things like that. I asked her to like repost more of them because I know that she knows about more things than I do, and she said that she would since I asked her to. And so she's going to do that. And so if you don't know where to start in your area, she posts stuff pretty regularly around the country that gives you like a good place to start of how to look to find
Yeah.
places, because there are organizations out there trying to help stop books being banned or help find ways to give books to kids that have been banned.
Yes.
And they always need some more help.
And we said this before with the election too, when we first started thinking about book bans potentially touching Percy Jackson. Christmas is going to come up again. Every
Hmm.
child in your life, you could get them a box set. You could get them copies of this book or other books on the banned book list that
Hmm.
you're like, I really think kids need to read this one. Even if
Hmm.
it's a book for in the future, like, it's still a good idea. Books are always good gifts. And no parent is going to be mad at you for getting their kid a book.
No, they're probably going to be really excited that a kid wants a book.
Yes. So that would be my other advice too. If you just happen to have kids in your life, give them all of the banned books.
Mm-hmm.
Percy Jackson.